Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and all folks in between, and welcome to another episode of Aunt Millicent's Cooking Show. Thanks for joining me on the show again. You may be wondering why I'm wearing pink, and we have seen this dress fairly recently. Well, I'm wearing pink in honor of Barbie. Now, I'm not paid to promote the movie or anything, but I do notice online that Barbie's kind of a big deal for a lot of folks. So I thought in honor of a fashion and toy icon that I would wear pink for this week's show. And that's it. When I was a little kid, I didn't get to play with too many Barbies. I'd get some funny looks when I started playing with them. So I kind of backed off. I always kind of wanted to. And man, Barbie has great stuff to play with. It's all big and easy to manipulate. I loved it. You know, I was, back with my action figures. I did have the ones that you could dress though with the clothes, the Mego ones. Y'all probably remember those. Maybe you're not old enough, but anyway, I love those. But anyway, in honor of Barbie, this show is being done, and we're making something totally unrelated to Barbie. We're making a great American dessert called key lime pie. So without further ado, let's apron up and let's get right into the making. Let's jump right into the ingredients. The first thing that you're going to need is some graham crackers, okay? Doesn't matter what the brand is, it's all good, okay? Next thing you're going to need is some granulated sugar. Again, I promise you, this is granulated sugar. We don't have a West Wing in our house, so it's sugar, okay? We keep it in a bag because we have, in the American South, again, like I said, we have bugs, and we don't want any six-legged friends taking a sample of our sugar, right? Okay, the next thing we're going to need is 6 tablespoons of butter. By my math calculations, that's a stick and a half, okay? That's going to be part of our crust. So those ingredients go into our pie crust, okay? The next thing you're going to need is 28 ounces of condensed milk. When I made my first shows online, we used a lot of condensed milk, and we kind of got away from it, getting away from the sweets, because it was around the holidays, and we all like sweets around the holidays. So you're going to need 2 cans of sweetened condensed milk. That's 28, that should be 14 ounces each, okay? So those are going to go in there. The next thing you're going to need is a half a cup of light sour cream, okay? That will be this whole container, which is 8 ounces, okay? And make sure you get the lights, okay? The next thing you're going to need is a mess of limes, okay? These are key limes. I was fortunate enough to be able to find actual key limes at the store today, which was great. If you can't get the key limes, the opposite of the key lime or the other lime is the Persian lime. And those limes have been interbred with other, with lemons and have been raised in different kind of conditions. And they're not as potent as the key lime. You can still use them though. It doesn't make any difference. I just wanted to get some limes, honestly, and I've lucked out and got the key limes. These guys are stubborn. They're hard. They're mostly rind. So it's going to take a lot of squeezing to get the juices out of here. So we're going to need basically 3/4 of a cup of juice from these limes and some zest from the surrounding part, okay? So we're going to be working these limes a little bit. So if you have a juicer, you're at an advantage. We so happen to have one. How about that? Okay. And so there you go. So hopefully this should be enough limes. Okay. And then finally, the topping, whipped cream. Okay. This goes on once it's set and it's gelled, and you put that on and serve it. Okay. And you can have any whipped cream you want. We just got the quick ready whip. You can have Cool Whip, or you can make your own homemade. Go to episode 2 on my show. Go up to there and click on that. That'll tell you how to make homemade whipped cream. My stove's already ready. I was going to mention that. So without further ado, let's start putting this thing together. And before you do it, the first thing you're going to have to do, heat your oven to 375, okay? And that's how we're going to make our crust, okay? So let's get on that crust, all right? And by the way, if you have a food processor, you're going to be at an advantage also, okay? So I'll be right back. Okay, y'all. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our crust, okay? So I need you to get your graham crackers out. And if you have a food processor, I need you to fill that thing up with graham crackers as much as you can get in there, okay? We can do it in waves too. We're going to need 1.5 cups of these guys. So we're going to have to probably grind the majority of what we bought here into a paste. So what do, Aunt Millicent, if I don't have a food processor? Well, you're going to be busy, okay? The best thing I can say is throw them in a plastic bag and get yourself a meat tenderizer or a hammer or maybe even your fist, and just go to town and grind them up as much as you can. That's really the best way to go. That's the low budget, low tech way to grind up and make a graham cracker crust. But we just so happen to have this Cuisinart. It's old as the hills. It's all metal. It's heavy as it can be. You can tell. But this is how I'm going to grind mine up. So I want to shove these guys in here, cut the lid off, and go. Okay, y'all, just like that. I just pulsed it for a couple of times. I have some graham cracker crumbs, okay? So I'm going to measure this out and see how much I have until I have a cup and a half, okay? So go ahead and get your cup and a half, whatever it takes, okay? Okay, y'all, I have got my cup and a half of graham cracker crumbs, sorry, all ready to go here. It took me about maybe half the box, maybe a little bit over that to work that out, okay? So the next thing we got to do to make the crust is we're going to add a third of a cup of powdered sugar. I've already got it pre-measured, and it's just going to go in there like that. Now, while I was off camera, I also warmed up all that butter, okay? So I've got 6 tablespoons of butter in this, and it's melted. It's probably better to let it go in at room temperature, but you know, what are we going to do? It's got to be liquid anyway to mix in here. So I want to pour this guy in there, and I want to take a fork, and I'm going to mix up this butter, sugar, and graham cracker mixture, and that, y'all, is the crust, okay? It's starting to look like a crust, okay? So go find yourself your favorite pie pan. I think the one I have is, it's 8 inches, maybe 7, I don't remember. And when you get all the sugar, oh, it's going to be so good. I kid you not. You will get marriage proposals over this pie. I kid you not. Okay, I've got them before. I'm lying. I haven't, but you will. Okay, you will. Okay. So here we go. So take your fork and just shove that butter and that mixture together. Okay, and then I'm going to see you in just a minute once I get it all nice and mixed. Okay, y'all, I have my pie pan out. Here we go. And what's going to happen is we need to put all of this in our pie pan and mash it down. Okay, and think about what a pie crust should look like. Okay, it has to be flat. Okay, so we're just going to use a spoon. You can even use your fingers. Make sure you wash your hands. I know where they've been. Okay, and make it nice and flat. So I want to work this in here, and I'll be back. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, y'all, the assembly of the crust has been complete. You can see you can hold it sideways and it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, well, maybe it went a little bit there, but you don't have to get it absolutely perfect. Just kind of make it go up the sides of the pie pan. Okay, now we're going to start making the filler. Okay, so bear with me. I got to get another tool. Oh, I completely forgot. This goes in the oven for 7 minutes. Okay, so go ahead and do that. And while we make our limes, this will be cooking. Okay, we got to get started on our pie filler. The most difficult part of it, we already have our condensed milk and our sour cream. We need 3/4 of lime juice. Now, if you want to cheat and go ahead and just get you one of those little bottles of lime juice to have at the store, I won't tell anybody, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and use my juicer here. We just happen to have one. And by the way, this is probably one of the cheaper ones online you can get. We had a really fancy juicer at one time, and honestly, it broke. It just flat out, just the whole handle fell apart. It was way too expensive for it to fail that soon. But anyway, that's beside the point. But this juicer works perfectly well. And I'm going to go ahead and get about 3/4 of a cup of lime juice. This is as much as these little guys do not juice very well. So you'll probably go through a lot of these key limes. Now, if you use the Persian limes, they'll last a lot longer and they'll get a lot more juice out of them. Okay, but these are little potent little guys. Okay. So I wanted to be authentic key lime and use the regular lime. So here we go. Okay, so here we go. Hold her down. I didn't seem to get a whole lot of juice, but I think there's some down there. Anyway, I have a marker for cups on here or ounces. So I'm just going to get started on juicing. So let's go. Y'all, I'm ready to go. I've got 3/4 of a cup of lime juice in here. It basically took the bag. I had about 2 left over, and I'm going to use those for something else, okay? So go ahead and get yourself a nice mixing bowl. We're going to go ahead and put that lime juice in there. Ooh, it smells so good, for real, okay? Then I'm going to go ahead and get my 2 cans of condensed milk and bottoms up on those 2 guys. There's one. Returning to the scene of the condensed milk crime, like we did in the early shows. And there may be a little bit more in there. I'll come out later, okay? And then we're going to get the second cup in there. And then finally, you're going to do the whole small, or the 8 ounces of sour cream. Okay. The light sour cream, I might add. Now all this is going to get mixed up, and this is going to be our pie filler. Okay. Off camera, while I was juicing, my stove went off for that 7 minutes for my pie crust, and it's ready to go. It's over there on the stove waiting for me. So what I want you to do when you get done with this is go ahead and reduce the heat on your stove to 350, and we're going to bake this confection when we're done. Okay. And I got one more ingredient to add, and I'm going to show y'all how to do. Okay, y'all, before we pour that into our pie crust, the recipe calls for lemon zest. I'm sorry, not lemon, lime zest. And the easiest way to make zest is just get yourself a lime and get yourself your standard cheese grater and find a small grain of cut and just start rubbing that skin off on that, and get yourself a little plate to catch it all. You'll get these little green flakes. Okay, this just is going to add a nice little texture to your mixture. Okay, and let it, look like that it's. I'm not sure how much flavor it adds, honestly, but it'll look like something that's green. And colors are very important in food. If you color something the wrong way, you will get people not eating it. They've experimented with all kinds of colors of things, and if something doesn't look right, people won't eat it. So lemon's yellow, limes are green, strawberries red. For some reason, raspberries blue, although that doesn't make sense. So whatever. They tend to, and of course, purple's grape and all that good stuff. But this zest, see, if you look on my plate now, it's kind of hard to see, but there's little green flakes. Okay, so grab yourself a couple of limes. And you can even just take the skins of the other limes that you've got juice out of, and give yourself some zest. Okay, and we're going to put this in the mixture. Okay, so I'm going to work on this a minute, and I'll be back. Hey, y'all, all my mixture is done. All my zest is in there now, and it's pretty thick. You can even sample it if you want. And I've got my pie crust here. When you bake it, it won't look a whole lot different, but it'll be a little more formed up. I've got a little butter in the bottom, but I don't think that's going to hurt anything. Okay, so here we go. This is going to go into this crust. Make sure your pie crust can handle it all. There's quite a bit of mine here. And you know what? If it goes over the pie crust a little bit, it won't hurt anything, right? That looks perfect. Okay, so here we have the pie itself. Now, here's what we're going to do with this thing. We're going to cook it on 350 for about 10 minutes. Okay, when it's done with that, we're going to pull that out. And this is the part that's the hardest. We're going to let it sit for three hours. Not 2, not 1, not 4, 3. Okay, how many hours? Good. Okay, 3. All right. Anyway, we got to let this cool off, or sit for 3 hours and cool. When you're done with that, it's ready to serve. And so what you can do is hit it with the whipped cream on top. You can decorate it around the edges like they do in the restaurants. You could put the whipped cream over the whole thing, whatever you feel like doing. And I will probably be back with a trial here. It's already a little late here, so I don't know what time it'll be when it's done. It's probably going to be 3 hours from now, so whatever it is. But I think we want to sample this. So we're going to cook it again, 10 minutes, 350, and I'll be back. Okay, y'all, now that it's baked for 10 minutes, that's what it looks like. And now you need to let it cool off a little bit, and it's going to go in the fridge for 3 hours. Okay, so I'll catch up with you when it's done. Okay, y'all, this is it. It's the big pie reveal. I have been waiting for 3 hours, in the stress I might add, to finish this thing off. So here's what it looks like when it comes out. And now we're going to take our whipping cream, and you can just do the whole thing on top, or like I say, you can make your own. Go to recipe 2, or not, go to video 2 on my channel. I'll show you how to make homemade whipping cream. Or you can get you some Cool Whip and just put on top. We prefer the Ready Whip. It's just a thing. Plus you can always, squirt it in your mouth, which I'm sure y'all will be thrilled to see that. So I want to just go around the edge of the pie and decorate it and make it look good. Okay, so here we go. So make it kind of restaurant style. Not bad, huh? I've got so much practice doing this. This is the first time I've made this pie. I made similar pies, but not the key lime before. And there we go. So when you rack that up, that gives us a nice little pie. So what I want to do is take a slice and I want to serve it, and I'll meet you in the room, you know, where we're going. Okay, y'all, we have made it to the dining room, and it is time to try our key lime pie. So here we go. I've made a nice little slice, and it's nice and firm. There's our graham cracker crust showing through. Very nice. It's the lime flavor. We have so much lime juice in it that really bolds right through the sugar flavor. It has a little bitter taste in it, slight bitter. Not bad though. It's very good though. I think your guests will love it. It's very limey. So anyway, I hope you enjoy making key lime pie with me. And with that, I bid you all a very healthy and happy bon appetit.